There's not a single person in any jail, prison in the country that's convicted of being an addict.
Being in this program, I learned that I don't ever have to get high. I even learned how to live clean again.
I need to be fixed inside. And the way to do that is to take what I'm learning here and implement it outside.
There's been 15,000 people that have been in the program so far, so that's a lot of people out on the street.
Jail can help you with your recovery, but at the end of the day, you have to make that final decision.
I want every one of you to succeed, but I realize I can't make any of you succeed. You got to succeed yourself. And I think we're giving you the tools to do it.
We sit in AA meetings and listen, not only to receive something ourselves, but to give the reassurance and support which our presence can bring. Whether our audience is one or many, it is still 12-step work. There are many opportunities, even those of us who feel unable to speak at meetings or who are so situated that we cannot do much face-to-face 12-step work. We can be the ones who take on this unspectacular but important tasks that make good 12-step work possible.
One of the problems that we have now is the perception that we should be treating these people somewhere on the outside and not putting them in jail. Well, that's never going to happen. If you do a break-in, they're never just going to go, oh, well, you're an addict, so let's give you a slack and put you over here. I really think the best place to treat people is in the jail, like we're doing here, because you're here. You're going to be put here, and I think it's a crime across the country not to have drug treatment in a jail.
We have different groups. We have anger management. We have 12-step groups. We have AA and NA at the end of the day. We have all kinds of different groups. And they're made to help each individual work on themselves. My heroin addiction brought me to the RISE program. I was on detox, and I've been incarcerated several times. I've just never actually going through the RISE program, so I decided to give it a try this time.
When I was out in society in my active addiction, nobody could convince me that I was an addict or that I needed some kind of help. And I couldn't sit down for a moment to take a look to see that there must be some truth to it. But once I got arrested, I wasn't arrested, I was rescued. And coming through the RISE program, it allowed me to take a look at what other people were saying first, and then made me take a look at myself that, hey, they're right. I need some help, and I need to do all I can to help myself.
They learn a whole new way of thinking about daily life. It's a regimented thing. It takes, 21 days to 60 days for new habits to form, and that includes your thinking. And that's what this program is designed to do, is to change your thinking in a radical way with the desire to help radically change personalities and ways of thinking, so that when we go back on the street, we have a new man, a new woman, which is a great thing.
To me, the O.R.B.I.T program is all about controlling the people until they can control their own life. So you start out in here, where they tell you to do everything. Then you go to a work crew where there's a deputy with you. Then you go to work release where you got a little more freedom. You still have the monitor on, you're still drug tested. And then finally, home incarceration. I'm only responsible for you guys. So if I give you the opportunity to change, and a lot of you change, then I've been successful and you've been successful.
Addictions are not something that we can house people for the rest of their lives and they benefit. It's simply an economic burden. It's a burden on the individuals, and the only way to treat our way through this is with recognition of addiction, with proper treatment, with counseling, with opportunities provided and presented to the individuals as they are released and moving forward in their communities upon reentry.
As citizens, you will see these crews out at our fire stations. They're cutting the grass at the fire stations. You'll see them at the government facilities. You'll see these basically bright yellow t-shirts. Some of them have specific or labeled shirts that say O.R.B.I.T. There is a certain amount of pride. They do a great job. Ultimately, it starts with the RISE effort, and then folks can matriculate to O.R.B.I.T. But what you have with O.R.B.I.T is, folks that, number one, recognize they have a problem. And they have worked to become more self-aware, and now they are becoming, you're giving them an ability to have pride in what they're doing. And I see it. I see the county employees responding and saying, wow, thank you. In the summer, how many schools do we have now that these crews are painting? In years past, all of that was contracted out. And the reality is, I think these folks are going to put even more pride into the work than some of the contractors, which were typically coming from out of state.
It's a full-time job. We work 6 days a week, weather permitted. It gives you a sense of stability. It gives you a sense of like you're earning something. I come out here, I take pride in how, the landscape around here looks, because I know that I did it. It gives me a sense of pride to know that they're gonna call me if a tree falls down and I gotta come out here and, and I'm the one that they called to do it. So it gives me, I feel like I'm a part of something, I feel like I'm not just doing dead time in jail. I get out here, which is nice, it's a nice sunny day. And, it just gives me pride, really. We cut probably about 10 or 15 properties, and that's just our crew. We have another crew that does about the same thing. So, it's a lot, it gets us out here and it helps the community.
I could sense there was a certain amount of trepidation on the part of the county workforce. Do we really want to do this? Are these folks dangerous? And the reality is that what we have seen with this opioid crisis is addiction that literally goes from cul-de-sac to cul-de-sac. There's no one immune. This epidemic that we find ourselves under, we've got a lot of internal efforts that are underway, but ultimately, by giving people hope, the ability to work through their addiction and show them there is a path forward, and to pat them on the back when they do a good job, and they do a good job, I think is key to this. There's no greater investment than we can make.
They're painting most of the buildings that people go in to enjoy in the county. They're painting a lot of government offices that you may come in contact with here in the county seeking county services out. If you drive in the government complex or other places in the county and it's county grass, we're usually the ones taking care of that and maintaining it. So if you like what you see, give them an opportunity. I don't think you would be disappointed. I think that work release plays a pretty vital part in transitioning people back into the community. And that plays a vital role in the O.R.B.I.T program. When someone finally reaches the work release phase of the O.R.B.I.T program, it allows them to go back out into the community on a supervised basis with a support system intact, and allows them to start paying off their court fines, paying child support, saving money for a place to live when they're released. A lot of times without that, people would just be dumped into the community with no job, no money, sometimes insurmountable bills as far as court fines, restitution, child support. So somebody's already starting out behind the 8 ball. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, especially somebody that's a recovering addict.
You're not overwhelmed when you first get out. When you first get out, you get a job, you're overwhelmed. This right here just eases you back into the work production and stuff like that, and it helped me. Because if I come out and I go straight to work, I'm overwhelmed and I want to give up. The work release, it brings you into it slowly. And it's good, because you go back to a safe environment, get my mind straight and think. Without rules, I'm lost. I do my own thing. And most of the time, it's not the right thing. So I really have to get my thinking adjusted. I have to readjust everything.
We want to do something positive. And one thing positive is about working. So the green team, you start off with the rise, then the green team, and then you go to work release. And then once you go to work release, and then you back into the community, and then you get your self-dignity back. And then you not only that, you saving money to proceed to get out. So when you get out, you're not in shambles. You have something that you can fall back on so you can take care of yourself. We don't want to go out there and then we are needy. You know, we want to be able to support ourselves and to move on with our lives.
They don't find the job for you. You have to go out and put the leg work in and find it. But they give you the opportunity to do that. You can go to the library, or you can, go put the applications in wherever. So when you find the job, and then like now I've found it, I work at Taco Bell, so I get to go out and go to work and come back in every day, and I like it. I mean, it's nice. It's something I'm not used to because I haven't been out, working in the workforce for a while, but having this job and being able to save this money is a total big thing with me. So I'm not having to rely on anybody else when I walk out of here. This program, for some reason, with all its, not for some reason, but with all its, the way it's set up, the phases and the way you work through it and the support and the help that everybody has made a total difference in my life. And I just want you to know that.
People don't trust you. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop. They're waiting for you to relapse. They're waiting for you to break into their house again and steal their stuff, to sell for drugs. I mean, these are all the things that come along with active addiction, and that trust is a very hard thing to get back once it's gone. You really have to prove yourself. And I think the O.R.B.I.T program gives people the opportunity to do that because their family members and friends, they see them, number one, going through the RISE program, the educational piece of it. They see them work in meetings. They see them around the county working on different paint crews, grounds crews here in the county. The participants have a sense of pride in the work that they do. They get a work ethic back. They understand what it is to work 9 to 5, what they say, quote unquote, is a 9 to 5. They have a good self-image. And then when they transition into the work release program, some of the employers that we have rave about the people that are coming through O.R.B.I.T because they're some of their best workers. I would say that if you're an employer and you see this, it's really hard for a convicted felon, and a lot of these folks are convicted felons, to find gainful employment that they can survive on, that they can take care of their families on. If you're an employer and you're watching this, what I would tell you is give them a chance.
I ain't had no goals. You know why? Drugs.
When the inmates can communicate some of these real life experiences, look at some of the high schools going through back to school nights. That's as real can be.
We're at Mills Godwin High School. It gives our inmates the chance to get out into the community. They have such an impact on young kids. We can get up there all day long and tell them and lecture them not to do drugs, don't do this, don't do that. But when you get the gritty, real stories from these inmates, I think it frightens them. They're receptive to that, and it's therapeutic for them also to tell their story.
If you ever start opiates, pills, any of that, it's almost like it just grabs a hold of you, man. I wasted 15 years of my life, I never thought that I would ever be here with an ankle monitor on, talking to a bunch of kids at Godwin, telling them not to use drugs. I never thought I would ever be here, but here I am, man.
The mission of the O.R.B.I.T program is prevention and recovery and keeping substance use disorder out of our community and helping people to recover if they have faced those struggles. So we believe in the same mission, and we are together working on that, and it's been very powerful for schools and jails to work together.
I'm here today to let you know that don't think it can't happen to you, because it started with the gateway drugs. It started with the gateway drugs. I go to a party. Somebody said, here, man, great game. Here, hit this. I'm cool. I said, yeah, I got it. Here, take this beer. Let's do a keg stand. I thought I was a cool guy. What the cool got land to me? Addiction.
When they come in and they speak, you can hear a dime drop. I mean, it is the most powerful presentation because they are the real deal. I can talk all day. I can give them statistics. I can tell them what it does to the brain, what it does to the heart. I can even tell them how many Godwin kids that we've lost or kids within Henrico County, because the number is rising all the time. But when they talk, they know how to present it from an addict's perspective. It's powerful.
It makes me feel good to be able to come back and help some kids. You know, especially this is hitting close to home for me. I went here, so it's like I know where these kids are at, you know. I've been there, you know, and just to be able to have the opportunity to come back, and even if I just help one of these kids, you know, then it's worth it for me.
We've lost, our neighborhoods have lost, our community have lost a number of children to drugs, and I would like to have them come in every single month.
This program gave me opportunity to find who I am. Thanks for letting me share.
I've been released, I'm going home. I'm so excited.
I feel great. I feel prepared.
Hi, my food. Oh, you smell so good. Ah, I love you so much. Oh, I love you too.
I'm excited. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not panicked. I feel good. There's been a lot of trust I had to rebuild to come back into their home and be able to stay, and that's something you don't take lightly, and I'm not going to allow that to fail.
The home incarceration phase is basically the last phase that you get to. It's been a long 2 years and 4 months. It gets you adjusted as far as, you know, home life and working and stuff like that, which is a very awesome phase, which a lot of places do not offer. It's been a very difficult time. I just got to see my kids this past weekend, and I hadn't seen them in 4 years. So just being able to be, you know, blessed with that opportunity, and, you know, and that's all thanks to this program, because I could have been in prison right now doing my time. But I had the opportunity to, you know, spend time with my kids, and, you know, now I have an apartment of my own. I just thank the program for, like, believing in me and giving me a chance to be a part of their program. So it definitely has helped me a lot. It really has.
The tools that this program gives you to live a better, healthier life and a long-lasting recovery life is phenomenal. Like, if the only way that you fail this program, you just completely are not ready. But if you have in your mind that you are for sure that you are ready to change and you're ready for this, you know, the positive lifestyle, the life of recovery, he gives you everything's at your exposure. I was once living in a recovery house, you know, working for my manager now, Mr. Harry Greger, and now he's given me 2 recovery houses, you know, in the same area. So it happened pretty quickly, you know, went from living to, you know, actually providing the homes for people coming out of the program.
Hello.
They've helped me through every step of this process, and I'm so thankful. Every time I stop by there, I let them know that I'm thankful for this program, no matter what.
You just look at them smiling. You can't fake happiness like that. Yeah, they were so happy to see you.
Yeah,
that's
we
awesome.
had fun.
Our office door is always open. We find that the O.R.B.I.T people actually have a lot more face time with us, and they get to know us, and I think they get to trust us a little bit. It's not that adversarial relationship that, you know, you would normally think between law enforcement and people that are in jail. It's more of a, I'm helping myself, how can you support me in helping myself?
There are definitely people, you know, that I would, like, even after the program, like, still, like, go to and go visit and stuff like that. They have helped me through a lot of things. It's not easy being incarcerated and coming out here. You have to get adjusted, and it was really hard in the beginning, and they definitely have helped me through that. I thank God for them, honestly.